There's a cursed thing sitting in someone's home right now, wrapped with love, given by someone who meant well. And if you carried it through your own front door, you may already be living with it. It sits on a shelf. It looks harmless. It even looks beautiful. Nobody warned the person who gave it to you. Nobody warned you either. Picture a candle on a nightstand, still in its box. Months after the birthday it arrived on, that candle has a purpose it never advertised out loud. The danger here isn't carelessness. It's that refusing a gift feels ruder in the moment than quietly keeping something dangerous. Long before candles or crystals, Scripture gave an entire nation a direct command about objects exactly like this one. Don't bring the cursed thing into your house, God said, or you become like it yourself. That command sat inside a longer warning about idols captured in war, because even something valuable can carry the wrong purpose. If you just realize this might already be true in your own home, that's exactly why this matters. Keep watching, because centuries ago, one man kept something he should have set outside his tent. It didn't just cost him, it cost everyone standing next to him. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which of 5 modern gifts Scripture would tell you to set outside your door, without losing a single relationship over it. Gift 1. The wellness box that never once used the word spiritual. A coworker named Emily hands Rachel a birthday gift wrapped in craft paper and twine. Inside sits a rose quartz candle labeled Manifestation. Beside it, a laminated card of affirmations pulled from a wellness app. Rachel sets it on the entryway shelf. The first thing she sees every time she walks through her own front door. The laminated corner catches the porch light every evening when she flips the switch beside it. Some nights she almost throws it away. Some nights she almost lights it. She does neither for months. Because neither choice feels obviously right, it stays there because throwing it away felt like throwing away Emily's kindness. And lighting it felt like something she couldn't quite name. Scripture never mentions rose quartz candles by name, but it draws a hard line around anything devoted to summoning what you want apart from God. And this candle has a stated purpose printed on its own label. Manifestation culture doesn't ask anyone to renounce their faith. It asks them to believe their own intention now carries the weight prayer used to carry. Emily wasn't trying to introduce Rachel to anything spiritual. She genuinely believes the candle helped her get through a hard year. And she wanted to share that. That's exactly why it works. A gift that carries a hidden claim given by someone who genuinely means it doesn't ask permission before it settles into your home. Not confront Emily, not stay silent either. Rachel's real test was simple. What does this object claim to do? And does keeping it require believing that claim? She kept the glass jar for candle wax and let the affirmation card go. And when Emily eventually asked about it, Rachel just said she'd switched scents. A gift can be received graciously without ever adopting what it claims to do. That's the whole test, every single time. But that candle wasn't the only object sitting quietly in Rachel's house that year. Gift 2. The digital gift card that opens a door instead of a store. For her birthday, a college student named Alicia opens a text message instead of a wrapped box. A $20 gift card to a horoscope app sent by her roommate. She redeems it before she even finishes her coffee. And the app asks for her exact birth time before it will tell her anything at all. It feels less like buying something and more like filling out a form. Quick, painless, oddly official. For half a second, her thumb hesitates before reaching the button. Picture opening that same text message yourself. Thumb already moving toward redeem before your mind even catches up to what it's agreeing to. Deuteronomy's warning was never really about a robe or a jar or a candle. It was about a category, anything devoted to knowing or summoning what belongs to God alone. Isaiah 47:13-14 names this exact category directly. Astrologers, stargazers, and says they cannot even save themselves, let alone anyone else. An app asking for her exact birth time is doing precisely what that verse describes. A horoscope subscription fits that category exactly, even though it never once calls itself religious anywhere in its App Store listing. It works because it promises information, not devotion. Daily guidance that feels like customer service, not a covenant with anything. Nobody signs up for an app believing they're consulting a spirit. They're just checking their horoscope, the way they'd check the weather before leaving the house. That's the mechanism. The threat never announces itself as spiritual, because spiritual language would trigger the very discernment it depends on you skipping entirely. Alicia isn't a bad person for downloading it. She's a person who was never taught that daily guidance and daily prayer are actually competing for the exact same seat. 6 months into paying for it, she couldn't remember the last morning she'd actually opened her Bible before opening that app instead. The next question matters more than deleting the app. Where does she go first, before she prays, when she wants to know what her day holds? She canceled the subscription on a Tuesday, quietly, with nobody watching, and replaced that first 10 minutes of her morning with actual prayer instead. Redirecting that instinct back toward God, not the app icon itself, is the gift card actually worth keeping. The app's terms of service never mention the word Spirit either. Marketing rarely uses the same word Scripture does. And the next item hides somewhere most people would never think to check: their own living room shelf. If you've made it this far, stay with me. What's coming next matters more than everything before it. Gift 3. The crystal cluster sold as home decor, not as an altarpiece. A woman named Priya receives an amethyst cluster from her sister-in-law, sitting on a velvet base with a tag that reads "Clears negative energy." She places it on her bookshelf between 2 photo frames because it's genuinely beautiful. And it matches the rest of her living room perfectly. Guests compliment it constantly. Nobody has ever once asked her what it's supposed to do. Once, she almost turned the tag over to read the rest. She didn't. The tag never says the word spirit. It doesn't have to. Energy does the same job with none of the warning signs attached. That claim, an object that clears or channels an unseen force, is the same claim Deuteronomy 7 warned an entire household against. The mechanism here is aesthetic trust. If something is sold in a home goods store next to candles and throw pillows, most people assume it can't be spiritually significant. But the marketplace doesn't decide what an object claims to do. The label does. And the label was very specific. Picture your own bookshelf for a moment. Not Priya's, yours. And ask honestly what's sitting on it and why. Priya's discernment test wasn't about throwing out every crystal in the house. It was about asking what this specific piece claims out loud on its own printed tag. She kept the stone as a paperweight on her desk and threw away the card that assigned it power it never actually had. Deuteronomy 18:10-11 lists this plainly, alongside sorcery and charms. Anything claiming to channel or clear an unseen force, named directly. You call it decor. Scripture calls it something devoted to a purpose it never named for you. The same danger has 1,000 different price tags, and almost none of them come with a warning label. And that's still not the item most people never think twice about. Gift 4. The Sage Bundle, marketed as a stress reliever, not a ritual tool. A newly married couple, Mark and Dana, receives a cleansing kit at their housewarming. Dried sage, a feather, and a card explaining how to clear negative energy from every room. They light it in the kitchen the way they'd light a scented candle, moving from room to room exactly the way the card instructs. Dana pauses halfway down the hallway, wondering for a moment what she's actually asking for. The smoke curls along the ceiling. The card sits open on the counter, its instructions treated like a recipe. The card's instructions read like a spa menu. Numbered steps and calming language. Nothing that would ever look out of place in a magazine. Scripture points us toward a consistent pattern here, not a single verse. Ritual acts performed to cleanse or protect a space are treated as devotion, whether or not the person believes that's what they're doing. The mechanism is borrowed ritual, an act that looks like a spiritual practice, wrapped in language that calls it self-care instead. Nobody at that housewarming meant any harm. The friend who gave it genuinely wanted to bless their new home. That's precisely what makes it effective. Good intentions on both sides, neither person asking what the ritual actually claims. If you've ever lit incense without asking what the box claimed it could do, you already understand how this one works. 1 John 1:7 is specific about what actually cleanses. The blood of Jesus, not a burning herb. That's not guilt. It's the real answer the ritual was reaching for. Mark and Dana's actual next step wasn't guilt. It was simple. The herb itself isn't the danger. The card's instructions are. Sage itself isn't a Deuteronomy 7:26 violation waiting to happen. The ritual claim printed on the card is the actual line to examine. They kept a candle lit that night instead, and walked through their new home room by room, praying out loud together over every doorway. The card went in the recycling. The house stayed exactly as new. Gift 5, the hoodie with a phrase on it that sounds like empowerment, but started somewhere else entirely. A teenager named Maya gets a birthday hoodie from an online wellness influencer's merchandise drop. The phrase across the chest reads, "Trust the universe," printed in soft pastel script. She wears it to school twice a week. Because it's comfortable, And because everyone in her group chat bought the exact same drop, the influencer never claims to be starting a religion. She just posts daily affirmations, breathing exercises, and merchandise links in between them, one scroll at a time. That's the mechanism at its most modern. Identity and spirituality now arrive bundled together in a single online storefront, and the storefront never once uses the word worship. Trust the universe and trust the Lord sound close enough that most people never stop long enough to notice they're naming two completely different sources of control over their life. Romans 12:2 names the real choice beneath the slogan. Don't be shaped by the world's pattern. Be transformed by a renewed mind instead. Trust the universe is exactly that pattern, dressed in comfortable language. Maya's discernment test wasn't about the hoodie's fabric. It was about the sentence printed across her own chest and whether she actually believed it. Picture your own closet for a second. A slogan you've worn without ever reading it as a sentence, let alone a claim. For a week, she just wore it. The question sitting unspoken every time she caught her own reflection. She talked it through with her mom one evening out loud, not as a confrontation, but as a genuine question. What do I actually trust? She kept wearing the hoodie the following week, still turning the question over some mornings, no longer avoiding it. 5 gifts. 5 ordinary objects. None of them announcing themselves. Not a candle. Not an app. Not a stone. A bundle. A phrase on a shirt. One test. Every time. What does it claim? And do I believe it? Remember the candle on the nightstand from the very beginning of this video? That candle was never really about wax or rose quartz. It was about what Rachel let sit, unexamined, in the middle of her own home for months. Achan buried a robe and a bar of gold under his tent floor, certain nobody would ever find out what he was really keeping. Israel lost the next battle before anyone even knew why. And 36 men who had done nothing wrong paid for what one man hid in the dark. Joshua tore his clothes and fell on his face before the Lord, asking why. Until God told him plainly, "There is an accursed thing in your midst." Every person in this list faced the same quiet pressure Achan did. Keep it, say nothing, and each one chose to set it down instead. The lesson was never really about a robe either. It's about an object carrying a claim to power that was never God's to give, sitting inside a space meant to be safe. This is the same pattern that hides in what looks harmless. Not just in a robe or a candle, but everywhere Scripture already warned us to look. You don't have to search your house for the word spiritual on a label. You have to search it for anything claiming a power only God holds. The viral sentence worth remembering is simple. It was never really about the object. It was always about what the object was allowed to claim. Rachel finally opened that candle's box again. Not to light it, but to carry it back out her own front door, gently, without a single word to Emily. Nothing about the friendship broke. Something about the house got quieter, in a way she noticed the very first night. God is not asking you to search your home in fear tonight. He's asking you to search it with open eyes, once, and then rest. You are not the only one this has happened to tonight, and you won't be the last person this video reaches in time. If this list has shown you something true tonight, write this in the comments as your own declaration. Lord, guard what enters my home. That's not just a comment, that's a prayer, and it's heard.